Hey, Steve Minardi here on May 18th in North Brookfield, Massachusetts. I'm getting close to liquidating my house and on my property because of expensive medical bills. I had encephalitis back in August, and ever since then I've been in recovery. And I can't go back to the junkyard with a chainsaw for a long time. But in the meantime, I got to sell some stuff, including Project REM Charger. Now, I bought this thing back maybe about a year ago. I bought this in Texas 3 years ago, part of Spanky Asher's Freedom Car Auctions Great Texas Mopar Horde Auction event. This was lot number 142, I think it was. It's a 62 Dodge Dart. Now, what's a Dodge Dart? You think about hippie mobiles in the 60s and stuff, smaller. This is a B-body, a mid-sized Dodge Dart. And first year for this outrageous style. And more than that, this is a police pursuit car. The code on the VIN shows us that it's an '09 car. And this right here is how this thing would have looked when it was new. The police pursuits, and these were available with everything from a slant 6 to a 383 ball. No Hemis, no Max Wedges, they didn't exist yet at this point in time. Now, 1962 is a very historic year for Mopar high performance. Not only was the Dart mid-sized, very available, but the Max Wedge 413 became available in 1962 for the first time. The Cross Ram, 415 horsepower, and no, they never put Max Wedges into police cars or even pedestrian family cars like this. But here's the thing. My plan with this car and the whole Project REM Charger idea with the series on YouTube was to make a sleeper Max Wedge car, REM, not just the band, but also rapid eye movement if you're sleeping in a sleeper, REM Charger instead of Ram Charger. And the idea was to take this 318 Poly, give it the deep 6. This is the base engine. It's a special engine. It's just a basic 230 horsepower 318 Poly, nothing major, but it has the Lease Neville alternator, police stuff right there. And this has manual steering, manual brakes, 11-inch drums front and rear, front sway bar, 6-inch leaf springs. It's a heavy-duty cop car. The only thing missing again is the 383 or the 361 was also a possibility in these things. But how cool is that? What a mean-looking thing. Imagine that in your rear view mirror, your 409 Chevy, and this thing comes up on your back, red light glowing, time to pay some money to the man. So inside, this one here was a bench seat car. The bench seat and the front and back seats, they're in that garage. They're filthy. Now, this car sat in the Texas desert for years and years, just covered with dust. And but they come with it. They sure do. And these things here, this was a rubber floor mat car. And as a result, it had a lot of rust in the floors. The rest of the body is pretty cool. I call this a Texas suntan, that sort of surface rust right there. I wouldn't call it rust. I was going to just get this thing running again and not even paint it or make it nice, just let it be. Just lay rubber all day long with that 513 Max Wedge clone under the hood. So I bought these things from Jim Kramer in Pennsylvania. It's a reproduction floor pan and trunk pan, and I don't have the bandwidth to install these things. They come with the car. So if somebody want to buy the car, they get these things here. These are reproduction Auto Metal Direct floor pans, and they're out of production now. So, and I think they also fit 62, 3, and 4 B bodies, like, race Hemis and stuff like that. I think they do. 64 and 5 race Hemis. And then the wheels on this are kind of special. These are fleet wheels used only on taxis and police cars. These are 15 by 6. And they're kind of ugly. What's up with these spotter caps right here? Well, unlike other cars from Plymouth and Dodge and Chrysler, which had a more ornate, this is the fleet hubcap. Looks like a baby moon. And the point of this thing is this attaches to those tangs. It's really austere. It's pretty ugly. But right here, and I have 7 of these things, and they come with the car. So that's how the thing would look. I can just see this thing coming down the road, boiling the tires sideways, and just less can be more. And the Max Wedge aesthetic is what I was going to go for with this one. Let's take a walk around to the side. And oh yeah, and this is, I was going to build part of the Project REM Charger recipe, and you can see the videos, by the way, on the YouTube channel right here. And you can see Project REM Charger, just Google. I think there's 7 or 8 of them. And there was one even where we took the 440 engine that I bought at Winkles. $400 I paid for this. It's a truck 440 pickup truck, cast crank, nothing crazy. We pulled it apart on camera, and the idea was to put a 440 source 513 stroker kit in this thing and lay rubber all day long. This is the cast crank. I'm not going to use this for anything, but that was part of the deal. Also a Sure Grip differential right there with a 294 axle. It's a 489 case, because this says open differential at this point, a 276 or something like that, something boring. But on the other side of the car, and I keep notes, you probably know this, I was a writer for Hot Rod magazine for many years. I'll scoot through here. And I'm big on making journals and taking notes. And this right here is, lot number 142, Project REM Charger 4-door sleeper. This is the recipe book on this thing from when I first bought it. And You know, the guy wanted to buy the 318 Hall, never came to pass. But just basically all this kind of stuff right here. It didn't get very far. You can see here, we stopped at March 29th, 2023. So like a year ago, right about now. Pretty close. We stopped everything on this. I went to focus on junkyard crawl videos because they're a little easier to make, and I didn't really want to dig in on this thing and then not finish it, because then you have a beached whale. I didn't want to do that. So I'm thankful now that I can't really work on cars because I've got some nerve damage here. My hands don't work so good anymore, but you know, I can still think. But in the meantime, this is cool. I found a lot of cool stuff with this vehicle. This is the original title right here. Butler Anderson, Snyder, Texas, right here. Chrysler Plymouth. He sold out of Thomas Chrysler Plymouth in Snyder, Texas. I guess the deal was, 1971, June of 71, this car was sold from probably the salvage auction or something, or the fleet auction, to Buster Anderson, who had it for many years. And I even have the fender tag. This is the fender tag that shows us all the codes for the cop car. This is the one from the car. So it's neat, in a lot of ways. It's really cool. And then the styling on the rear of this thing is beautiful or hideous. You decide. These crazy asymmetrical canted tail lights and reverse lights. And here it is, man, the license plate from Texas, CAH 109, like car 109, calling car 109, Texas, right there. And it's nice and clean. Look at how the paint is like fresh, And the thing with the spanky acid is, there we go. You gotta wonder how many hundreds of thousands of gallons this thing gulped over its lifetime. But Spanky Acider's great Freedom Car Auctions auction was a good, they sold every car. They got $800,000 for a bunch of cars they were going to crush on site. And this car was saved. Now I paid $5,000 for this thing because I'm stupid like that. I would say buy high, sell low. That's my motto in life. But what I did is I said, hey, I don't want to watch that car go through the auction and maybe lose it. So I take my bid for $5,000. They took it. I paid $5,000 for this thing. And they paid about $1,700 to bring it here from Texas to Massachusetts. And then the process, began from there. And I started with assemble parts and stuff, but I'm not going to finish. I can't finish this car, so I have to sell it. So what am I going to ask for it? I don't know. I got about $7,000 in it. I'll never get that for it. It's a nice clean beast. I can see somebody buying this thing, leaving it alone, putting a good motor in it. It's starting to rain. Let's go in here before we get into the Texas car wash. But so yeah, it's basically a pretty straight car. If you look down here, the lower quarter panels are sweet. These are usually full of holes and junk. And up in here, nice, solid. And this does have a two-piece rear axle, that nut right there. Kind of problematic. The last year for that would be 64. And if you have to do the brakes, you have to take that stud off, use a pulling tool, and then fight with the axles and get it over. So I have a 65 up, one-piece B-body axle that comes with it if you want it or if you care. So that's the story on this thing. If you want to see more about this thing, check it out on the YouTube channel under the Project REM Charger series. There's probably about 14 videos between taking the engine apart for an autopsy and then inspecting the car when it rolled off the trailer. So to learn more about this, check out the videos. And if you want to talk more about this, I have an email address, hemimagneto@aol.com. One more time, hemimagneto@aol.com, like a funny car ignition. And basically send me an email if you have any curiosity. And I don't want to take phone calls because that could be a long thing. Hey, how you doing? Not great. That whole thing could play out. So, but things are cool. I'll get better if this thing gets sold. I have to sell everything here, get rid of the house, all that stuff, and empty out the shop. And my Corvette and my smart car have to go away. My V8 pickup truck has to go away because I'm staying at my stepmother's house right now. I don't have any place to put stuff. So it's okay. Life has chapters, beginning, middle, and end. Your life could have a new chapter with this beautiful 62 Dodge, beautiful car. So please, if you want to know more, just check out the YouTube channel and also just hemimagneto@aol.com. Send me an email. We can go from there.